My family still lives in the house that my grandparents bought in 1921. They crossed the color line in Halifax. My grandfather was white, and he actually went out and bought the house, and then he moved with my grandmother and the kids in. It was a little bit of a shock to the people that lived there. But they still own that same house. They were involved in 1963. My family was involved in, I don't know if people are familiar with Africville, which was a community in Halifax that was appropriated by the city. And I have a video, the National Film Board video, that is a treasured piece in my family that sort of gets passed around. God help you if you misplace it. And there were members of my family, and my mother remembers them, that refused to leave their land, and there were bulldozers outside their home, and the CBC was there. So I guess what I want to say is, I guess the message that I want to send out is that, you know, I'm not an immigrant. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm as Canadian as I can get, and I love meeting people from different cultures. But I'm not African. I'm not Congolese. I'm not Jamaican. I'm Canadian. And I think that there's different shades of blackness, and I really hope, and that's the message that I really want to get across to people, is that yeah, I'm Canadian.
And so was the telling of the stories really important, a big part of your family, because that had to come from somewhere, didn't it? That these kids have this identity.
Yeah.
So was it storytelling, do you think?
It was storytelling, and yeah, just yeah, I think that it was, and just sort of also really being really clear about the kinds of contributions that blacks have made to the community. So, you know, my son knows, you know, he used to cross Stark's Landing every day on his way to school, so he knows who Louis Stark is, and he knows who Emily Stark is. He was involved in a lot of Black history celebrations that I've been involved with throughout the years as well.
Any other questions?
Yeah. You ended with saying that I'm Canadian. Do you get questions like, oh, where are you originally from?
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, people don't believe me.
I mean, like from Caribbean or Africa?
Usually the Caribbean, and people tend to qualify it with, well, you look like you're Jamaican. I don't know. Apparently it's my cheekbones.
Okay. It's funny, actually. When we came in at the beginning, I have a friend who's from Trinidad, and I said to John how much you look like my friend Sandra. Very much like her, and she's actually Indian of background.
Well, when I was younger, I used to pretend that I was American, and adopt a Southern accent or just play along with people. Like, you're not going to believe me, I'm just going to go along with it.
Any other questions?
I just have one comment with when you say I am Canadian. A few years back I would have said, yeah, I'm Canadian as well. But I struggle with that because I know that my grandparents weren't Canadian. They immigrated here. And so sometimes I think I really don't know what I truly am and what is Canadian. So and I see Canada changing so much that you said there are different shades of black. I'm seeing different shades of Canadian.
Exactly. I mean, we're a cultural mosaic. I mean, that's part of the mission statement of the Canadian government. Is to promote the mosaic of our culture. And I think that that it's important to know that there are different shades of Canadian, and that what you bring to the table, Dawn, is really important in terms of of your cultural background.
I think that's a strong message that I'm getting, as well as celebrating your culture and sharing it, whatever that culture is that a person identifies with, and sharing it with other people and sharing it with children, and that's a very healthy way to embrace life.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, over there.
Oh, sorry. I think the big identity we can all identify with is that of world citizens.
Yes, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
I was just wanted to share with you that how young these attitudes and views will start. My daughter was quite fair. I'm French Cree, and I took her to Ontario for my sister's wedding. And my uncle, we swear that he's part Negro, right? He's got curly hair and he looks a bit like Sammy Davis Jr., right? And he's fairly dark. So Natalie's sitting on his lap, and my Uncle Danny's got his hand on her, and she looks at his hand, she looks up, she goes, "How come you're so dirty?" Everybody just cracked at that, right? And that was Uncle Danny's nickname when he was a kid, you know. And then one day I go home with a friend of mine, and he's my blood brother. He's native. He's really native, right? And she looks at him, you know, he's still young, 3-ish, and she's just in awe. I said, "Oh, this is Monty. He's an Indian." Because she goes, "He is?" And I says, "Yeah, and I'm an Indian too." She says, "You are?" I says, "Yeah, and so are you." She says, "I am?"
Yeah, are the moms of babes.
Okay, then more questions. Thank you.